It all started with a simple decision that I wasn't going to live my life the way I used to. Hi, I'm Clarity, and at 22, I was in recovery, rehabilitation from a brain condition that put everything on hold. Life slowed down, and from the sidelines, I finally had time to really sit with things. That's when a question started to form. What truly matters at the end of life? At the end of my life? I wasn't actively searching for an answer, I couldn't. But the question gave me something to hold on to, a reason to heal. Something in me had shifted, and all I knew was something had to change. So, when the time finally came, I went back to the land of my people. And somewhere in the middle of that journey, that something started to unfold.
Y'all, it's time! Oh my god. This is how you know you're going back to the motherland.
Being able to fly again came with terror. Because last time I was on flight, it felt like a movie.
Any doctors or nurses on board, please come forward.
They were calling for me. But this time I made it through and the cow welcomed me first. I've never really spent time in the countryside of the Philippines, so this was a first for me.
There's so many of them.
My first walk past local goats and cows, my first breath of fresh sunlit air, my first moment of relief realizing I'd finally made it here. Just a few months earlier, I didn't even believe I'd be able to travel again, and yet there I was. It was the kind of relief that makes you want to cry, but instead, all that came was a smile across my face.
Hello! Pool cleaning day. Good morning, guys. It is officially our first day in Philippines. First day is adjusting. Today is when stuff happens.
There's a childlike magical wonder that comes with being in a museum.
Yo, this museum, look at this. Look at the ceiling.
They hold Earth's memories, stories of animals, of nature, of time itself. Reminders that the world has been living and evolving long before us.
Wait, what? Is that the oldest crocodile in the world?
Largest, no.
Bro.
Just like that, and that dinosaur.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. How is it even possible to be that big? Oh my god, bro. It was a whale this whole time. We thought it was a crocodile.
As I walked through each exhibit, something in me lit up like a spark. I felt like a kid again, curious, excited, open. It was a feeling I slowly lost along the way of growing up.
Damn. That looked terrifying.
I remembered what it felt like to simply enjoy learning, to learn without having to compete.
Chambered Nautilus. Emperor Nautilus.
I remembered what it was like to just feel joy without needing a reason.
Oh my god, I'm getting sensory overload. I tripped down. The dive scared me right there.
This is Las Casas Filipinas de Acuzar, a heritage site that brings history to life, showing restored Spanish-Filipino houses, each filled with art, architecture, and the stories they carry. And when I say this place is beautiful, that is no exaggeration. It's the kind of beauty that makes you stop and just take it all in.
But I wish all of you could come here and just experience how beautiful this place is. It's so... I feel like I'm transported back in time.
My sense of appreciation for the Philippines just deepened with the level of intricacy in its local artwork and craftsmanship. The hand-carved wood, the paintings, the architecture.
The detailing in this thing.
The creativity of it all was truly a gift from God. Art has always been a way we pass down meaning, its beauty, its truth, its survival. It's how pieces of the past live on in the present. Each artwork was an inspired remnant by the lives my ancestors lived and the stories they left behind. A way to honor the roots we come from, as if to say, we were here and this is what mattered to us. There's something about art that can't really be explained, only felt. We can all look at the same piece of art and find different meanings. It can even be different from what the creator originally intended, and yet, it still finds a way to offer something personal to each of us. I think a lot of us deep down have neglected the artful, creative side within us. I truly believe parts of why we're here is to create, in whatever form feels most natural to who we are. Over the years, I realized I had suppressed that part of me. As a child, creativity came naturally. It was effortless. And now, I want to come back to that. to think about the kind of impact I want to leave behind, and to leave behind something that says, I was here, and this is what mattered to me. Intramuros, meaning within the walls. Built in 1571, it served as a fortified city during Spanish colonial rule. These walls have witnessed centuries of colonization, resistance, and pain. From being a seat of Spanish power to becoming a prison camp during the Japanese occupation in World War II. History is a strange thing. It feels so far away, but somehow it still shapes who I am today, how I live, how I see the world. I never really felt connected to Filipino history. It always felt separate to me. But visiting this site changed something deep inside. It felt like I woke up from a dream, one where I only saw the Philippines in a soft, rose-colored like way. And I felt disappointed in myself for that. Walking through the old chambers, I kept wondering, how did it feel back then? Did they have anything to hold on to? Some glimmer of hope? I remember standing in this one corner where there was just a bit of shade. I imagined a mother shielding her child from the water drippings from above, the sun beating down for hours. I couldn't stop thinking about the pain of having to give up your only bit of comfort for someone you love. And that's the thing, I can only imagine. I'll never truly know what they went through. Reading their stories hit me in a way I didn't expect. Seeing the old photos, the faces, the places, made it so real. So real that there were moments I wanted to close my eyes and walk through it blindly. It was hard to take in how much suffering they endured, but to look away would feel like betraying their memory. Their pain shaped the life I get to live today. Reading about history is one thing, but standing in the place where it happened, it tugs on a string in your heart you didn't even know existed. That day in Intramuros reminded me, memories aren't always beautiful. Some carry pain, and they shape us. We carry them even when we don't realize it. In the Philippines, we have a word, kapwa. It means togetherness or a shared identity. It goes beyond blood, beyond proximity, but it's especially strong with family. And nothing reflected that more than our family reunion. Family reunions are rare. Sometimes years pass before families can see each other again. Life pulls us in different directions. Some stay behind, others leave to chase opportunities elsewhere. My grandma first made that leap, starting over in Australia, and my parents followed. Over time, other relatives made that same leap. So now we're scattered across the world, which made this reunion even more special.
Good morning, guys. Today is a Romero family reunion, and it's gonna go so hard. Look at all these things they prepared.
We had color-coded shirts, ours was blue, mugs with a photo of Lola and Lolo printed on them, Filipino party games, prizes, souvenirs, and good food. Caldereta, what's this? Pinapaitan?
Pinapaitan.
And that's same pinapaitan. No, sampalok.
Sinampalukan.
Sinampalukan. Sinampalukan, papaitan, and caldereta. Lechon.
Yeah, the ritual. It's really nice.
Finally, in one corner, we placed photos of the family members we've lost, so they could be included too. That was something sacred, a way of saying you're still part of this story, this memory. Just because someone isn't here physically doesn't mean we stop honoring who they were or the life they lived. I like to believe they were there with us in spirit, joining us in laughter, in joy, in presence. Some we lost to illness, some to age, some to pain we'll never fully understand. But even then, memory is what keeps them close. We carry them forward in the stories we tell and the space we make for them, even in celebration.
Love you, nanay, tatay, kuya dito, Edward,
The Philippines is made up of 7,641 islands. Here's one of them, Bohol. Stepping into Bohol felt like stepping into a Studio Ghibli film. The greenery had been painted by God's own brush. The river shimmered like emerald jewels under the sun. The sun itself glowed softly, casting a warm, golden hue over everything like something pulled from a children's storybook. A river wound its way through the towns as the Earth's natural compass, leading us straight to our little resort tucked along its banks.
Wow!
Look at the view. I feel like Dora the Explorer.
This is like one of the most beautiful parts of the trip. But all those childhood stories that my parents told me, my grandparents tell me about nature, Not gonna lie, it's been scaring me a bit. I'm trying so hard not to point at every living tree.
Bohol's oldest Catholic church. If you told me years ago that I'd step inside one and feel peace, I wouldn't have believed you. I grew up in a very specific religious environment, one that didn't leave much room for questions. I wasn't encouraged to explore other beliefs. In fact, I was taught to completely disregard and fear them. And for a long time I did. It sounds strange, I know, but the idea of walking into a Catholic church or any other house of worship used to genuinely scare me. Because when you're raised inside a bubble, everything outside of it feels threatening, even if it's harmless, even if it's beautiful. But as I got older, something in me shifted. I started asking questions, wondering why I feared certain things, and little by little I began to pop that bubble. Perhaps a little out of rebellion, but mostly out of a thirst to understand the world beyond mine. Looking back, I realized I limited so many opportunities to learn from the world simply because I refused to acknowledge that other perspectives could be just as valuable as mine. There was a pattern, fearing what I didn't understand. And the truth is, getting stuck in one way of thinking can be dangerous. It narrows your world, it isolates you from the bigger picture. We start defending beliefs so tightly, we forget to see the people behind them. But when I walked through this old church, something unexpected happened. I felt safe, in a sense of connection. I thought of a song from a childhood favorite movie of mine, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. God Help the Outcast played in my mind as I stood in that sacred space. Quasimodo, the main character, was an outcast. He lived in a place that was supposed to be his refuge, but it also became his prison. That part always stuck with me. Sometimes, the very place meant to keep us safe can become the thing that holds us back when we're not allowed to grow inside it. That movie showed me something I didn't have words for as a child, that belief without compassion means nothing. And in that moment, standing in a church I once feared, I didn't feel divided. I felt connected. Like we're all just trying to make sense of life in the best way we know how. Ever since I was a little girl, I've dreamed of seeing this almost mythical creature I grew up hearing about. My dad had a fridge toy magnet of it and would tell me it was as small as the size of my palm. I was only 6 at the time, and that creature was the tarsier, the world's smallest primate. 17 years later, I finally got to see it for myself.
Do you see any more? Oh my god, there's more!
Right.
There! His eyes are massive. I don't know if you guys can see it. He's like staring at something.
We also got to end this experience with a sweet taste of my childhood favorite, ice cream.
Yum! Hey, try the ube one? Ice cream here is so good.
There are some things you don't realize you've missed until you feel them again. For me, it was dancing, just being able to let loose and feel free. I couldn't wait for this part of the trip, to indulge in Filipino flavors, share a wonderful meal with strangers on the river, and to dance with the locals after eating.
Let's try the traditional Filipino dessert. We got the swear word, buto. When Philippines, it's a dessert.
Golden things.
They've got a dance performance now. Let's go watch it.
It felt so good to dance again. It was one of the first things I missed when I was ill. Even when I couldn't move, I'd close my eyes and imagine myself dancing. So many people told me healing wasn't possible, that there were many limitations ahead. But every night, I held on to the feeling of reconnecting with my body. Not to fix anything, but because it simply felt good. Sometimes we wait for life to give us an external permission slip to feel joy or whatever we want to feel, but I think the magic happens when we give that permission to ourselves first. Looking back, I can see it so clearly. It was my imagination that led me here.
That was a workout. Yeah. Workout. Morning, y'all. We're going island hopping, which we haven't been. Bro, I've been tripping this whole trip. I don't know how I'm still alive at this point. I didn't know they feed fundicell to the fish. I had to tell him not to eat it because he finishes the whole bag. Y'all, we made it to the ferry.
Travel isn't just a break from routine. It's a bridge into other worlds. Vacations are beautiful, yes, relaxing, of course. But more than that, they're a chance to expand who we are, to witness unfamiliar ways of life, to taste cultures beyond our own, to listen to stories we might never hear otherwise. It's a privilege, one not everyone has, to step into a new place and be changed by it, to walk foreign streets with open eyes, to meet people whose lives, challenges, and dreams look nothing like ours. Travel humbles you. It stretches your perspective and, if you let it, makes you more compassionate. But sometimes the opposite happens, because not everyone travels with respect. I've seen it firsthand in Bali and again here in the Philippines. Here's what I mean.
So pretty much what happened was that me and my partner, we went to get a couples massage downstairs. There's two separate rooms. The rooms are separated by like a curtain, so you can still hear what's happening on the room next door to us. And the tourist next to us, the whole time we were having our massage, we could just hear her complaining the entire session. Out of respect for all the customers, you want to be quiet. Just enjoy the massage. Of course, if you want to say you want more pressure in this body part, you can say it kindly. But during that entire session, you just hear how this older lady was speaking to the masseuse. One, very unkind, entitled, very arrogant. And the way she like clicked her voice, she'd do things like, or like, you know that sound people make when they're annoyed? She would make a lot of sounds like that. Her tone of voice, very condescending. The way she spoke to the masseuse, very rude. But you could hear the entire commotion going on. And you could hear the masseuse in the room next door, like really trying her best, listening to what she wanted. When we wrapped up, my partner and I, we were whispering, mind you. That was literally less than a minute of us talking because we were getting changed to leave. We just heard this lady next door screaming, "Excuse me," and her voice kept getting louder and louder. And at that point, my man just said, "Shh," out loud. Because she was being so loud, man. We were sucking it up the whole time. Yeah, you have to be truthful in terms of the pattern that you recognize when you travel to different countries. So my man and I, we've been to Bali, Indonesia, and I'm Filipino. So of course, this struck a deeper chord in me because this is it's like my people, but the fact that my people experience this type of treatment on the daily, and because their livelihood depends on this, I think we should be a bit more kind and show a lot more respect. It's just crazy to me that some people would even complain for getting a massage. You know how much of a luxury that is? And to not only complain about getting a massage, but to also treat the people who are doing such a phenomenal job, trying their very best to make you happy. And then there are people out there that just look down on others just because of their race, because of the socioeconomic status of their country, just because their government is not perfect or whatever. It just irks me so much that people can be so arrogant sometimes. We went to the receptionist at the front to pay for our massage. After my man and I paid for the massage, we came back to the spa, and I just came to them to let them know like how grateful we are for it and how it was really good. But when I spoke to them, like, I was upset. But for them, what even tripped me out more, what affected me more, was just seeing them so used to it by this point. Like, it's so normal to them, which is very telling. It's very telling. Just some people, they travel overseas, experience the best part of our country, but they look down at the people living there. Anyways, my message to the people that do come to the Philippines or travel to, like Bali, Indonesia, or to these places, like, one, I mean, it's great that you get to travel overseas to experience
really amazing things in different cultures, but remember that you're not better than any of us. You know, that's a luxury. That is a privilege, and to come here and respect the people, respect the culture. You don't just come here to make a mess and to start drama out of what, privilege? Drama for getting a massage, you know? It's just crazy to me. When you come to these countries, you know, educate yourself, be more respectful, be more open-minded. Obviously, you're coming to a foreign land, and you can't come in there expecting people to all cater to you all the time. You're the one entering their country, their lands, and have a good time. I go ube hopia. Doesn't make me feel better. I love Philippines.
I never got it, why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you.
We made it to our last and final stay in Philippines. Here in Manila, Admiral Hotel. Out of every hotel we've been in, this has been the most luxe. Wait, I'm gonna close my eyes and then get my reaction. He already reacted. Wait. Okay, I'm looking in. I'm gonna open my eyes now. Damn! This bathroom, bougie as hell, is so nice, and the shower is separated from the toilet. So when you shower, it won't splatter everywhere. Look. Apparently there's a nice view. I'm gonna check it out now. Ooh! Yeah, I think, wait. Oh, that might be Star City actually at the end there. We're having breakfast now, or coffee. This chair is like way too far for me and my liking. I need to be all up on this table. My brain can't comprehend the fanciness. A lot of bougie things that look fancy as well. They are aesthetically pleasing, but they're probably not the most practical, to be honest. Ever since my man and I got here, they've been like switching our food around. I'll order one thing and they give it to him, and they give me his food. So, well, the first time around, he ordered Filipino food, I ordered pizza. So they gave the Filipino food to me and they gave him the pizza. It was actually the opposite. Oh my god, what the hell? It's like some rock sugar or something.
It's for sugar.
Yeah.
Also, I need to be sugar.
It's easier to carry. It makes less of a mess on the table.
Yeah.
Smart. Okay, that's the one rich thing I can say. It's pretty practical. Oh, I like my snot on this.
Sorry.
I need to go to etiquette training school or something, but I don't know none of that stuff. I just do whatever makes sense in my brain, and most of the time my brain doesn't make sense.
Before I left for the Philippines, my grandma had just one request: go to Aristocrat for me. At first, I didn't understand why this place meant so much to her until she told me the story behind it. It was her favorite hangout spot during one of the hardest yet best times in her life. She was juggling 3 jobs as a teenager, supporting her family and chasing a dream. She worked as a cashier, waitress, and a singer in a band. She'd spend her breaks here, breakfast, lunch, even dinner, finding comfort in these moments with her friends and colleagues. She made a wish upon a star here once, by the water at Manila Bay, to one day build a new life abroad. Within 6 months, she made it to Australia. So, when she found out my hotel was only 5 minutes away from Aristocrat, she got emotional. It wasn't just a restaurant for her. It's a symbol of her youth and the life she fought for.
I'm so excited to try the food here. It feels a little bit more special for me to be here to try pure Filipino food. And not just that, there's like a connection with my grandma and her sentiments about this restaurant. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. They have all the Filipino foods you can think of.
Jealous.
This is honestly the best mango shake I've had. One, he's already started eating it. It tastes very buttery. It's like a creamy taste, like a buttery taste. Oh my god, that smells so good. This is the dish we've been waiting for. Our favorites combined. This is like our love in food form. It's like a hug in your mouth going down to your stomach.
At the end of our lives, what we really have are the stories we carry with us. Snapshots of time that once felt so vivid but can fade.
Good breakfast.
Memories of who we became, what we felt, and what we lived through.
The ceiling is so low.
I'm learning to make meaning out of those stories, no matter how painful, messy, or beautiful they are. They don't have to make sense to anyone else. They're mine, and that's enough. For a long time, I tried to shape my life into someone else's story, trying to fit in while betraying myself on the inside. But after recovering from my brain condition, I knew I couldn't keep living that way. Why would I take my own life away from myself like that? So I stopped, choosing to live a life that feels authentic to me. So here's to making memories, but more than that, to living them. Because when all that's left are our stories, I'll know I didn't just exist, I live.